An important part of information systems audit is controlling change. We want to allow change, but in the same token, we want to ensure that only authorized changes are made to our systems. This means we can control changes to IT systems, applications, and networks through a defined change management process. We put in place change controls, which is a formal process, first of all, of a request. That request should be documented so we have a record of who requested that change, the type of change, and of course why the change was necessary. Then when that change request has been reviewed, we'll then authorize the change. Is that change something we should do? When it's been authorized and the change has been then made, we then test the change to make sure, will it do what it was supposed to do? We implement the change with approval, and of course we communicate to users and to management on the completion of that change. So change control is a very formal process here that will enable change, but with that protection then of the organization from an improper or unauthorized change. The objectives of change control are to protect our production environment. We don't want a change being made that disables systems or has an unintended effect on other parts of the system. To ensure that all changes made, whether or not it's a change to a user access level, a change to a system or a network or an application, has been approved. And part of that approval should look at, well, what impact will this change have on scope, on delivery, on budget, on security? In fact, every change should be reviewed for its impact on security. When is the best time to make this change? And of course, the best way to make the change. The purpose of a change control process is to ensure that all changes have been documented and that we can communicate effectively to all of the stakeholders. If I'm going to make a change to a system, we want to make sure the users are aware of it. We also want to make sure that the IT operations department is aware of it so they know where's this new system coming from we've never heard of. And then, of course, make sure that changes have been tested and scheduled at a time to minimize the impact on the business. Quite often, a major change to an application may mean that we actually have to convert data files and databases, adding in fields or changing in some ways the format of data. And an important part of that data migration is to make sure that the conversion of those data files is done accurately. We all know the risk of change. Everything worked fine until now. We interrupt business processes. We might find that the change we put in place just bypassed some of the security controls we had in place. It could be the system just doesn't work as well as it used to now following the change.